Alright, in this video we're going to be going over the Docusign Utility. A lot of people have used this for other things. I actually learned about this initially setting up my school loans, which was kind of life-changing. Between using Docusign and having Cam Scanner, cuts out a lot of riffraff. So essentially Docusign, what we use it for, I'll go through just so you can see, and then we're going to go through how to actually set up. But what we use it for are templates that we can actually send to customers so we can get their signatures back agreeing to have certain work performed. So such as if we're going to drain a pool, they need to sign a waiver saying that we're not liable if the pool pops out of the ground because it's old, et cetera, et cetera. So they need to sign this drain waiver. Then our full service, weekly service agreements, full service, partial service, and signature service. We need them to sign the terms of service stating that we are liable for these things, you're liable for these things, this is how much you're paying for the services, you're approving the charges for these and any additional items. It's also a credit card authorization form so that they can actually put their card information on file for the card that they want us to charge, and then they're signing off stating that we can charge it. It puts our disclosures in there stating such as if they don't pay us the money, we are allowed to do whatever means necessary applicable under the law to receive our money. So it guarantees our payment. And then, of course, if they change their card, we have to resend them this. They need to re-sign it with a new credit card authorization form. And then payment installment agreements. If we do repairs on something, it's a high dollar job, they can't pay it all at once. We need to split it in half or into 4 payments. I'll fill this thing out, send it over to them, they sign it, return it, guarantees that we get our money over the course of that installment. So it's a very, very good utility to use to get information to your customers and get it returned. You know, a lot of them are they're out of the country, they're traveling, they're doing things, they don't have time. You know, we're in the pool business, everything's wet. You send paper, when paper comes back, it's wet a lot of the time. So it's just a great way to do this. So this is what it's used for. Now, how do you actually get to this point to having these things? So you always start with the home page. It shows you action required, waiting for others. So I've sent out a whole bunch of them, and I'm waiting for 3 to return. I've had 179 completed. Pretty cut and dry there. You can manage these things, such as do I have any in the inbox? Which ones have I sent? It's like an email. I can resend it. These are the 3 I'm waiting for. I can resend them back out to the customers. This one in particular actually says waiting for others. He actually printed this, signed it, and then scanned it, and then sent it back. So while we're here, I will go ahead and void this one. Filled out, paper copy, and emailed back. Boom. Now I can void it. He's going to receive a void notification. I'm going to receive a void notification, et cetera, et cetera. So I can see who I'm waiting for, which ones are expiring soon, meaning I need to retype them and send them, what have been completed, and say I send it, and it kicks back. It'll go to the authentication failed. It'll kick it back, say, hey, there's something wrong, email's wrong. Yeah, and now go to templates. So we have our few businesses. You can use multiple businesses within inside of this thing. We're talking about Tropic Island here. All I would need to do is just hit new. I don't want to upload a template. I need to create a template. You can upload pre-made templates. Most of the time that's not going to be the case. I need to create one. I name it. In this case, I'll just name it test. I don't need to put a description on it. I do need to upload the document that I'm requesting that they sign. This thing only uploads PDFs. You don't want to put Word in here. If you type it up in Word, export it to a PDF, and then you can actually bring it in. So I'll go to the desktop. I have my DocuTest that I've already created. Open that. Now it's in there. I have to set a rule for the signing. In this case, I always just put my name. In the case of this one, you have to put a name here so that you can modify it. Have to every single time. We'll go over that later. But so I put my name here. It pops up my email. Needs to sign. I don't need to sign. I'm just going to set myself to receive a copy. You can set it to receive a copy. Actually, for a second, let's just keep this simple. I'll go back over that later. Set this to needs to sign. Then you can actually change your subject line, because every time you send this to a customer, they're going to get this email subject line, and they're going to get this email message for whatever you want here. Test, please sign and return, whatever you want down there. It doesn't matter. So whatever you want to have go to every single one. Hit the next button, and now you're on the actual setting up the DocuSign process. So I just put a few things here. Text, customer needs to print their name right here. So you'll have to do a text right there. You have all your little deals. Back up for a second. If I didn't put my name there earlier, where I said you have to put a name there with an email, it wouldn't let you actually do anything in here. Don't know why that is. It's just the way it works. You have to put a name there. That name is irrelevant, though. It just has to be there to do this. So they need to print their name right there. We need to put our name right here. So it'll actually put our company name. I want this to be set as read-only. Right here, text, pricing. The terms of the lease is text. I'm going to put all my good old information that we need. Nice and clean. Signature. It's pretty cut and dry. It kind of tells you what to put everything. Date signed right there. So fill out everything you need to put. So the customer's name is Joe Blow. There we go. So here's the customer name. You put that there. You want this to be a required field. Doesn't matter. You want it to be a read-only. So they can't try and modify that for typos. These things can be used as contractual items, so you don't want them to go through it and mess with it. The company name, it's automatically going to put Tropic Island Pools right there in the company name, depending on which one you're working from. If you're sending this from another company, it's going to put that company name there. If I'm sending this from Gorilla Power, it's going to put that company name there. The price is wherever you've agreed to sell something to them for. $545, read only, so they can't modify that. The terms of the lease is 4 months, read only. You don't want them to change it. Now here's the signature. It is a required field, and here's the date signed. It's automatically going to do that. So I can save and close this. Now I actually have my DocuSign set up. Go back over to my templates. I'm going to move it over into the Tropic Island folder so it's easy to find later. And now I can actually use this thing. So I open it up, and I want to edit it. So I'll say I need to modify this. This gets changed. This is where that name change really isn't all that big of a deal when you're actually sending it to somebody. You need it there for the sake of editing it. You don't need this name here to send it to somebody. So let's say I got a different customer, and I need to actually change that pricing around just a little bit. I can go through this template. I can modify the name. Could change the price. I can save and close it. There. Now I've modified it. Now I want to send it to somebody. I can go to Manage, click New, use a template. I just created it. I'm going to use my test template and add it. Now I can change this name to whatever I want. So now I've changed it, Scott Parr. I can modify all of this information. I can modify all of this information. Hit Next. I can modify whatever it is that I need to send here and change it, and then I can send it over to the customer. So if I want to go back and do it again, it's as simple as doing this every single time. Go back, hit New, use a template, add the selected, and every time I need to send this thing out, I can change all of this information to whatever I want it to be and send it to that person in specific every single time. Doesn't matter. So you have to put a name here for the sake of being able to modify the template. But when you need to send the template, you don't have to send it to Sean Pace number 2 every single time to sign it. You can just get rid of that name, put wherever you want. You can add a recipient and set the actual signing order. So I can set the signing order. That means that this guy needs to sign, and this one, once this guy signs it, then this guy has to sign it as well. Or I can set it to this guy needs to sign, and he's only going to receive a copy. And then I can send it. So it's going to send it to both of them. Sean's going to sign it. Scott's going to receive a copy of it whenever Sean signs it, or Sean can sign it, and then whenever he gets done signing it, it'll go over to Scott, and then he will need to sign it as well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't use it for that complicated part of a process. We just send our terms of service, customer signs it, sends it back to us, and that's it. So that's the process of creating a template, sending a template. It's something that you just gotta kind of get in and mess with. It's really user-friendly, really easy. You can put a PDF file on here, 45 pages if you want to, and go through and just put where do they need to sign it, where do they need to put their initials, where does the date go, where does the company go, set all of your, is this required, is this not required, is this a read-only section, is this not a read-only section. It's pretty intuitive. Save it, move it to the company file that you want it, and then when you're ready to send it to a customer, just go to Manage, then choose the one that you want, change the name that you're sending it to, and then modify the content, send it over. And really that is it. That is Docusign, another great utility, a very inexpensive utility to use as well, especially if you're only using, if only one person's actually managing this information. So it costs next to nothing. So anyways, that's it.